If a Honda HR-V is too small and a CR-V is a little bit too big, this might be the right car for you. It's called the Honda ZR-V. It's a medium-sized SUV designed to rival the Toyota RAV4, Mazda CX-5 and Hyundai Tucson. In this video, we're going to have a look at the exterior design, jump inside, have a look at the space and the technology on offer, and of course, take it out for a drive. Let's take a closer look. The ZR-V is the third SUV in Honda Australia showrooms, between the small HR-V and the medium to large CR-V. Bumper to bumper, it measures 4.57 metres long, making it 20 centimetres longer than the HR-V and 7 centimetres shorter than the CR-V that's been in showrooms for a few years now. By the time you're watching this, there'll be a new CR-V in showrooms, which is bigger and more expensive than before. Compared to that car, this new ZR-V is 14 centimetres shorter. Confused? You're not the only one. Let me put it another way. This car, in its footprint, in length and width, is almost the exact same as a Mazda CX-5, within a few millimetres, and it's pretty close on price too. Let me explain. The Honda ZR-V range is priced from $40,200 to $54,900 drive away, but we're testing the middle of the range VTi L, priced from $43,200 drive away. As with all Honda cars sold in Australia since July 2021, that price is fixed and can't be haggled. Standard features include dusk sensing adaptive LED headlights, front and rear parking sensors, a 9-inch touchscreen with wireless Apple CarPlay, wired Android Auto, an AM, FM and digital radio, dual zone air conditioning, keyless entry, push button start and a reversing camera. Extras you get with this VTi L model include 18-inch alloy wheels, cloth and faux leather look upholstery, heated front seats, heated door mirrors, LED tail lights and a power tailgate with kick sensor. Alright, sitting inside the Honda ZR-V. Now this car is effectively the SUV version of the latest Honda Civic hatchback, so it may come as no surprise that there's a lot of shared DNA inside the cabin. What that means is everything is really nicely presented, and there are some really cool details, like these honeycomb air vents on the dashboard that I'm a really big fan of. Elsewhere in the cabin, it all looks pretty nice. There are some nice leather materials on the center console and on the top of the doors. There's a squidgy plastic on the dashboard, and everything seems screwed together pretty well, though our test vehicle has a little bit of a shake in the center console. This VTi L model gets these really nice cloth and faux leather seats. They're manually adjustable, but they do have heating. They look quite good, and they have a good mix of comfort and support on longer journeys. In front of me, this leather wrapped steering wheel, which feels great in the hand, and has these really nice paddle shifters that have a great action to them. Honda has resisted the temptation to go down the road of touch-sensitive buttons like so many other car makers, so everything is controlled through physical switches, including a real volume knob up here, and these satisfying air conditioning dials, which produce a really nice sound. As for storage, the door bins are on the small side, though there is enough space for a 600ml bottle, and the glove box is not the largest in the class. There's a small storage slot ahead of the shifter for storing phones and wallets, though unusually Honda has put the USB ports, one USB-C and one USB-A, on this other storage cubby below the parking brake. Behind it, you've got a center console bin that's pretty large for the class, and above, a storage space for sunglasses. As with the Civic and other new Hondas, the infotainment screen is this stuck-on tablet-style setup. It's a 9-inch screen and it offers all the basics you'd expect. Wireless Apple CarPlay, the only wired Android Auto, Bluetooth, AM, FM and DAB digital radio. This specification misses out on embedded satellite navigation. It is not the largest screen in this category. Something like a Nissan X-Trail or a Kia Sportage is available with a 12-inch screen, but the graphics are clear and it's really easy to use on the road. Ahead of me here is a 10.2-inch digital instrument cluster. As with the touchscreen, it's easy to read and the graphics are clear, though it's not very customizable, and unlike some rivals, you can't show a full screen map. Overall, a really nice place to spend time. Let's head to the back. In the back, this seat is set to my driving position. I'm 6'1". I'd say space is pretty decent. I've got good knee room here, enough headroom for me to lean back, and my toes aren't squished under the seat in front. The biggest issue back here is the floor, which is quite high for a car in this category, so it could mean for taller passengers on a longer journey, you might feel like your legs are perched up and it's not the most comfortable. Would this be a deal breaker for you? Let me know in the comments below. There are no sunblinds on the windows like some other cars in the class, but the windows are really large and really easy for kids to see out of. It's also worth noting these rear seats are set a little bit higher than those at the front, make it easy for kids to see the road ahead. A few other things, it is possible to carry 3 passengers across in the back, though the middle seat is quite firm and not the widest, and you have this quite complex 2-stage seatbelt that requires you to plug it in here before you can pull it across. It's also worth noting these door apertures are quite narrow and the doors don't open to 90 degrees like some other cars in this class. Amenities back here have a fold-down centre armrest with 2 cup holders, have rear air vents, 2 USB-C ports, map pockets on each front seat, bottle holders in the doors, 3 top tether points and 2 ISOFIX child seat points, though that middle top tether point is in the roof, which is a little bit less convenient than if it was in the back of the seat. All but the base model ZR-V get a power tailgate. You can open either by kicking under the bumper or pressing the button on the liftgate. Inside, models with a partly cloth interior get 380 litres of storage, though in higher grades with leather seats, you get 370. It is definitely one of the smallest boots in the class, if not the smallest when you take away 7-seat models and plug-in hybrids. And even in the class below, smaller SUVs, it still wouldn't be the biggest. Features back here, the rear seats fold 60-40 to fit longer items. There's also a net pocket on the side, a 12-volt socket, and a boot floor that fits up in 2 pieces, so you can stop shopping bags from rolling around. Under the boot floor in this petrol model is a space saver spare tyre, though in the hybrid, which is the top of the range version, there's only a tyre repair kit. Standard safety features include 11 airbags, autonomous emergency braking, lane keep assist, adaptive cruise control, traffic sign recognition, and tyre pressure monitoring. However, this model misses out on blind spot monitoring and rear cross traffic alert, which we think are 2 of the most useful advanced safety features on new cars today, and are a surprising omission given they are standard on rivals from Toyota, Mazda, Kia, Hyundai, and more. Powering the ZR-V is a 1.5 litre turbocharged 4-cylinder petrol engine, which develops 131 kilowatts and 240 newton meters, which is sent to the front wheels through a continuously variable automatic transmission. In the real world, that is more than enough power for this size of car. The tuning of the accelerator pedal means that off the line it can feel a little bit sluggish, but once you're up and running, there is more than enough punch for overtaking. As mentioned, this engine is mated to a continuously variable automatic transmission, or a CVT for short. If you've heard bad things about CVT, don't worry, because this one is a pretty good one. Around town, it feels pretty nice and doesn't really get in the way of day-to-day driving, though when you're really pushing it, it can feel a little bit elastic and start to groan. Comfort over bumps is for the most part pretty good. It settles quickly over speed bumps without much of a fuss, and on the open road it feels sure-footed and confident. Flip side is, over some broken city streets with really sharp bumps and potholes, it can feel a little bit busy and you feel more of what's happening under you than you otherwise would have liked. It's not uncomfortable, just something to keep in mind. That slightly firmer edge translates well to handling. It's not a sports car, of course, but there's not a whole lot of body roll and it feels confident and planted on the open road. The steering is on the heavier side for the class, but it's direct, it's precise, and it's not too hard to park with. The ZR-V is not available with all-wheel drive, but you don't find yourself chirping the front tyres too much, and these tyres, Yokohama Advance, offer good grip. Visibility is really good. The windscreen pillars are quite thin, the mirrors are really big, and there's good vision out the back window, particularly as there's no blind spot monitoring to help you out when changing lanes. The brake pedal feels confident. There's not too much wind noise apart from some occasional whistle from these big side mirrors, and road noise on smooth surfaces is pretty good, though on coarse chip roads it can get quite noisy on these tyres. As for fuel economy, we're sitting on about 9 litres per 100 kilometres, which is okay given the size of the car and performance, though we'd expect a little bit better of what is a small turbo engine compared to some competitors which are just as efficient with bigger engines that aren't turbocharged. There is a hybrid available, but it's only offered on the top of the range LX model, and that's $12,000 more than the car we're testing today. That buys a lot of 91 octane petrol. So there you have it, the Honda ZR-V. It's a solid family SUV. It's roomy on the inside, comfortable and easy to drive. The technology is really easy to use, and it's pretty good value too. However, it's not perfect. The boot is small for the class, the high floor in the rear reduces comfort for rear seat passengers, and it's missing some key safety technology that is standard on rival cars. If you enjoyed this video, please hit like, stay updated with all of our latest videos, hit subscribe. If you want to watch a review of the other models in the ZR-V range, not just this VTi L, click to watch Glenn's video from the local launch of the car above. And of course, to read the full review, head over to Drive.com.au.